Hey family, on November 20th through December 1st, 2022, we will have the all-inclusive Kenya trip. Now, a lot of times people have said, hey, Phil, when's the next trip we'd like to go? I want to see Africa for myself, but this is the time to go. Everything will be taken care of. All excursions are paid. You can do monthly payments. You know, they'll have safari and a 6-city tour. You will see Charlie Island, which is something that we did not see last time on the tour. This tour will be 12 days instead of 7 days. So make sure to secure your place on the trip by going to www.wbsvs.com, make your deposit, and then you can start making your payments, and we'll see you in Kenya. So Minnesota prosecutors declined to file charges on Wednesday against a Minneapolis police SWAT team officer who fatally shot Amir Locke while executing an early morning no-knock search warrant in downtown apartment in February. Now Locke, he was 22 years old, was sleeping on a couch in an apartment when the race soldiers entered it on February the 2nd as part of an investigation into a homicide in the neighboring city of St. Paul. Now Locke was startled awake and picked up a handgun when the SWAT race soldier shot him. So police body camera video shows it all. Now he was killed within seconds. The police entered the apartment. Minneapolis authorities claim Locke pointed the gun in the direction of officers, but his family has questioned that. Locke's mother, Karen Wells, has called his death an execution, which it is, and say his family said Locke had a license to own the gun and was startled awake by police before being shot within seconds. Now, Minnesota State's Attorney General Keith Ellison and Hennepin County Attorney Michael Freeman, whose offices reviewed the case, said they determined that race soldier Mark Henneman was justified in firing his weapon. Now, let me get to you. Black representation matters, people. You know, Keith Ellison, he's Black representation matters, a Democrat, and he couldn't bring any charges on the race soldier. Let me tell you about that. Yes, they can. It's amazing how they can always find charges to put on Black people. They have put charges on Black people for not even being in places. They have charged Black people with murders, and they're like, I wasn't even there. Yeah, but you knew of the situation, and you had a text message with the people at the time it happened, so you're part of it too. I didn't shoot nobody. What are you talking about? Nope, we charging you with murder too. This is what they do to Black people. But the race soldiers, they go in there just gunning down Black people, and they wasn't even in the right house. They wasn't even at the right house. So to that brother, shoot, somebody jumping in my house, they're trying to, rob me. I'm trying to defend myself. Where's all these Second Amendment people too? Let me talk about that, because how many cases has happened to Black people that had their gun rights? And where's all these white Second Amendment advocates out here talking about, hey, this is a great story to come on in and talk about gun rights? The NRA don't show up. All your little white conservative people that talk about gun rights, they never say nothing about these Black people gunned down. Philando Castile, none of them. You would think that, hey, this is their time to swoop in and talk about gun rights and lobby for laws to be changed and all, right? No, but see, they believe in gun rights for me and not for thee. That's what they believe in, okay? So some of you Black conservatives really believe that Second Amendment crap is for you. It is on paper, but when it comes to the defense of you about your guns and what happens to you with them with the police, they never gonna defend you, because listen, gun laws in this country was created to keep guns out of the hands of Black people. Why? Because they are cowards. They wanted to attack Black people, and now you don't have a way to actually defend yourself. Because every time brothers tool up, they learn how to use those things, and then it equals the playing field. And a lot of times them jokers are getting beat. There's so many stories in history where brothers took it to them with firearms. Where's all these conservatives talking about the guns? This is why when y'all hear me say certain things, say he must be a Republican. No, I can never be a Republican. I can never be a Republican. I can never be a Democrat. Never. I can never do that, because Republicans, they have some things that I agree with a lot, But then when you start coming to the hypocrisy of those white conservatives about they don't want black people treated equally at all in any way, shape, or form, they have a major white supremacist wing over there. That's when I say I couldn't be a part of that. I could never swing a Republican flag. It'll never happen. Now, they get rid of the white supremacy, but they can't do it because it's in the culture. Just as much as the Democrat can't get rid of white supremacists either because it's in the culture. Just the Democrat is just a little bit better at finessing black folks a little bit. You know, like it's like the Democrat is the finesse pimp, right? That's how they are with black people. They the finesse pimp. And I'll look at the Republicans, they just more so like the gorilla pimp with it. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, black folks understand what the gorilla pimp is. The gorilla pimp gonna kick your butt. But the finesse pimp is just gonna talk to you and finesse you and all that. And that's why black folks be Democrats, because they finesse pimping them. You know, they the one gave them representation matters, right? They gave them that. Sure, I can give you that, but I'm gonna hand pick them. You're not gonna pick the person you want. We gonna pick them. And they're gonna be a black face to represent white supremacy, like Keith Ellison. Well, he brought prosecution on Derek Chauvin. It was too easy to do. He had to do that because the city got tore up. $1 billion worth of damage. You better do something. See, it got to get that extreme for black people to get justice. They got to go and have an uprising and cause them economic pain for them to actually follow laws. But continuing, they say Amir Locke's life mattered, and it did. They say he was a young man with plans to move to Dallas. They said well, he would be close to his mom and hoped he can build a career as a hip-hop artist following in the musical footsteps of his own father. Now, Ellison and Freeman said in a joint statement, they say he should be alive today. His death is a tragedy. See, but there's insufficient admissible evidence to file criminal charges in the case. Specifically, the state would be unable to disprove beyond a reasonable doubt of any elements of Minnesota's use of deadly force statute that authorized the use of force by the race soldier. According to Ellison and Freeman, they said Locke's death in February came as 3 former Minneapolis police officers were on trial in the United States federal court in St. Paul for the May 25, 2020 killing of George Floyd. They said a black man who died, of course, in police custody. No, it was more so a lynching. They said the case sparked protests and re-examination of no-knock search warrants. Now, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry announced an immediate moratorium on such warrants. And on Tuesday, he formalized a new policy that will take effect that week that requires officers to knock and wait before entering a residence in their applications for search warrants. The Minneapolis apartment, as in other locations, authorities said a no-knock warrant was necessary. It said police are looking for Locke's 17-year-old cousin, Mekhi Camden Speed, who had been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder in the January killing of Otis Elder, a 38-year-old father who had been found shot and lying in the street. Body camera video shows an officer using a key, we did see that, to unlock the door, following at least 4 officers in uniform and protective vests, timestamp 6:48 a.m. As they entered, they repeatedly shot police search warrant, and you also shot hands and get on the ground. Now, of course, we seen the video. It happened so quick. Now, the apartment complex gave these race soldiers the key, obviously. Now, they say the video also shows them kicking the sectional. They say, well, Locke can be seen. I mean, they did that in such a way that they didn't have to do all that crowd. You see somebody sleeping, you could just woke that brother up. You know what I'm saying? You could say, hey, man, hey, you need to wake you up. You know what I'm saying? But no, they want to go in there screaming, yelling, and any old thing this can happen. Yeah, this is the way these race soldiers are trained. Once again, you would never have peace like talking about in a land ran by the white supremacists, because the white supremacists are in league with the devil. And this black representation matters, they in league with the devil too. You understand? Because if they so-called black representation matters, then they will fight for black people, and they never do. Notice they always be line step with the white supremacists, and they have no problem charging black people either. Your so-called black representation matters. Look at your new Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson. She had no problem messing off a settlement for black people with Lockheed Martin. She had no problem doing that whatsoever. But she didn't want to lock up a white man who violated children. She's light on that, but want to mess off black people's settlements. We got that. But that's your black representation matters too, right? But y'all leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about, this situation here. We need y'all to participate in the class. Make sure you click the like button. It's free. It's free. Click the like button and make sure you subscribe to the videos. That way you know exactly when we post another video.